Hey, it's Summerscork 11 with episode 4 of Triangle Strategy Unit Buffs, a series where I theorize taking the skills from more niche units and giving them out to other units so that they have more to bring to the table. Today we'll be looking at Giovanna's kit and giving her skills out to Ezana, Narve, and Huet. So Giovanna's issue is that she's really specific in how she needs to be used. She can only use her skills on specific terrain, which means you're never going to be able to use more than at least 2 of them at a single time. You can only use 1 at a single time, but you can only use usually only about 2 of them depending on the map. And some of them you can use a lot more widely, but they require some setup. Mainly Scorched Earth and Gala Barrage are a lot easier to use, but they require prior setup to be able to use them, and then she has to stay on specific tiles to be able to use them. So just not a lot of reason to bring her most of the time unless it's a really specific map like a snow map where you can use Gala Barrage a lot. Other than that, there's not a lot that she can do, so she's very specialized. So to fix that, we would be giving all 4 of her terrain-based attacks, Ivy Beam, Splash, Scorched Earth, and Gala Barrage. Combine all of these into a single attack that costs 3 TP, and give it to Narve. Narve is already a generalist, being whatever you need him to be depending on the map. So this would fit perfectly with Narve's kit of having 1 single terrain-based move, and when he's standing on a specific terrain, then he gets access to those. So if he's standing on, let's say, ice that he made by using Icy Breath already, then he can use Gala Barrage for an even stronger ice attack that hits in a different direction. Scorched Earth, if he's standing somewhere, well, if he's somewhere that he can set fire, then he'll set fire using Scorch, and then he can use Scorched Earth for an even stronger attack in a different direction. So it would fit very well with his kit. He can provide the setup for himself, and then Splash and Ivy Beam, more niche, but gives him something else that he could use. Since we would be increasing this to 3 TP, I'd say double the healing amount on Splash. Let's see, how much is Sanctuary again? So Splash is already about the same as Sanctuary, so yeah, I'd say like double or maybe 1.5 times for Splash since it is single target. So yeah, put those 4 on to Narve as a single attack. That would fit Narve's kit perfectly, and it would make all of these attacks a lot more usable since they would be on someone that's already being brought in a variety of situations, and would just give you an extra option to use. So trekking for TP, at first I thought about giving this to Narve so that he has some form of TP regeneration, which he's severely lacking. But then I realized he only has 4 movement, so this wouldn't actually work on him. So I figured, let's just give this over to Huet instead. This way she can use her debuffs more often. Wouldn't really change much for her. She doesn't have big attacks to save up for, except for Shooting Star really, so this would just let her use debuffs more often instead of basic attacks sometimes. So not a huge buff for her. She's already really good, so this would just be slight boost and give her more debuff usage. Rock Toss, honestly I don't think anyone needs this. It's pretty weak. It's basically just Giovanna's basic attack. So I don't think anyone really needs that. And then TP to power, this should go to Ezana. I mean, you could also give it to Narve, but I feel like Ezana should get something out of this, since we are giving most of the stuff to Narve already. So Ezana, this way you just save up TP if you want stronger attacks. Not much to it. Not a huge buff, just something to give her a slight boost. And Gaia's Roar, I honestly can't think of who to give this to. It's a really good skill, but I don't feel like it fits anyone too well. Maybe, I'd say maybe give this to Narve in the sense that turn Mystic Beam into the range of this thing, because Mystic Beam is really underwhelming. I mean, the damage and healing is good, it's just the range on it is mediocre because it's a straight line. So why not make it a cross shape like Gaia's Roar and have Mystic Beam with its current damage and healing just be huge range and increase it to 5 CP like Gaia's Roar is. So that's it for Giovanna's kit, for giving it out to Ezana, Narve, and Huette. Not big buffs, since Giovanna doesn't have anything that's amazing. She just has a bunch of really niche stuff that's useful in certain situations. So it would be some minor buffs to them, and I feel like the biggest buff would be to Narve, because he gets another attack that he can use depending on the situation. It's something that's more unique, since all of his attacks are currently something that other characters already have. So that's it for this episode. If you watched the end, comment Blossom Dance down below, and see you next time!